Hey guys, it's been a while since I made a video. Have I got a video for you? Um, this video is about how I solved my mystery headaches in the morning. I would wake up, and I'm not making this up, for me these headaches would come up every other day. Yeah, that's right. One day, one morning, I would wake up 110%. I would feel really fine. Uh, the next morning, and this would be like clockwork for months and months on end. Um, one morning, I would wake up with a frontal headache, never anywhere else, just there, kind of stale, as if you didn't get a good night's sleep. Yet I got a good night's sleep, as far as I remember. I went to bed, I fell asleep, no problem. I went and saw doctors. I did all sorts of tests. Everything was negative. Everything was actually very, very, to say positive, in a sense, where there were good tests. My cholesterol levels were really good. Good cholesterol was good. So, you know, bad cholesterol was low, triglycerides were low, that sort of stuff. Like, you know, people were, doctors were just shaking their head, and everybody was leaning towards some sort of a, you know, a mental, you know, they weren't really saying it, but it's like, here you go, try and have a 5-HTP and see how that feels. And nothing made any difference. So anything that was on a mental side, that didn't make any difference because, well, I kind of wish it did, because that way I would have solved my problem. But any little supplement that I took that was supposed to give you, you know, create more serotonin and make you sleep better, which I did anyway, it didn't make any difference. So these headaches would just make my whole day miserable. And I told my cousin, who's a physiotherapist, and he said, you know what, that's got to be some sort of crazy bug in your stomach. He didn't say go and test your stool, which you could do a full stool analysis and test it, and see, you know, if that comes up with, but I've read some articles where they say a lot of the times nothing comes up because they only test for about 5 or 10% of known pathogens. So you might not want to waste your time doing that. Instead, the way I did it is something a bit more radical, which is what my cousin did himself, because he had a similar problem, and recommended to me. He said, go on a 7-day fast, a water fast. Now there are different fasts. You can do a juice fast, but I think, you know, if you were ever going to do it, don't put any sugar in it, because pathogens love sugar, so you want to stay away from sugary things. Now there is something called Master Cleanse that's been around since, I think, 50s or 60s. I did some research on it, and I think Beyonce lost a lot of weight on it. So a lot of, especially black girls, did it, and they lost weight because that gives you about 500 calories a day. And what it is, it's water with maple syrup, lemon, cayenne pepper. I think that's about it. Yeah, lemon, cayenne pepper, maple syrup. That was the problem with it. That sugar. You want to stay away from it. You don't want to keep drinking that for 7 days, because I know it's a little amount of sugar, but the problem is it keeps your insulin levels higher than they would be on a water fast, which is what I did. So I did put a little bit of electrolyte in it, like a little bit of magnesium, just traces of it in the water, and another thing I did, obviously, magnesium, potassium citrate, or potassium chloride, and what else was in it? Oh yeah, the Himalayan salt, so you can retain as much of that fluid as possible instead of it going through you and you being just dehydrated. I also use this, the cleansing tea. Well, only drank 3 cups in 7 days, so you don't want to do too much, because it's very potent, this thing. You can get it on iHerb. But, you know, I tried everything else, and it didn't work, but this thing worked. Barring the first day where I you know, I still had a nausea, headache, but it was more like a adjusting to not eating anything headache than my usual headache that I was trying to fix. Every other morning after that, there was no headache. This morning I woke up, it's been 7 days since I had any solid food, any calories. I'm skinny already, kind of fit, 174 centimeters, 70 kilos. I lost about 4 kilos, I think. I haven't weighed myself, but I can feel it. I feel so empty. I felt hungry a lot looking at people eating. At night, it was more mental. I wanted to sit down and chew something and, you know, enjoy that food taste. But that was mentally challenging. But surprisingly and paradoxically, this morning, 7 days later, I'm not hungry. I'm absolutely not hungry. My fridge is full of things. I even prepared chicken broth yesterday, and the whole house was smelling on chicken broth, and I couldn't taste it. It was beautiful, glorious chicken, and I couldn't have any of it. This is how strong-willed I am, but the fridge is full. I look forward to eating again. But by the way, if my goal was to lose weight, I would probably go for another 7 days now that on the 7th day I'm actually not hungry. My tongue is white, which is what you get from detoxing. My skin is unbelievable. It's so firm and nice. I'm 44 years of age. Honestly, this is excellent. I'm so happy with this, and most importantly, my headaches are gone. Thank you, cousin. Thank you, brain, for sticking around and staying sane and not losing it. I recommend it to everyone. I'm not a doctor, you know, and most people making videos like mine have to put a disclaimer that, oh, you need to do this under medical supervision. Let me tell you, doctors will not endorse this, because it's just seems too crazy, and they're afraid, or any medical professional is afraid, that if something happens to you, you know, they'll be liable. So they really don't want to encourage it. But what can happen to you? You know, you're drinking water, you tell your friends, neighbor, I got a good neighbor, family, if something happens, you know, the worst thing is you call the ambulance, they come, they give you a drip, and if you're dehydrated, if you're not feeling well, it's very unlikely you'll die, unless you got some sort of, you know, chronic condition like diabetes, high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome. Then I wouldn't actually recommend it. To everyone else, I would definitely recommend it. It will reboot your system. It will fix your headaches, your chronic fatigue, you know, chronic fatigue syndrome they call it, or adrenal fatigue. This is what I felt every other day, but I couldn't explain it. Everything was fine. The blood tests, even did 24-hour blood pressure monitoring, sleep apnea, I don't have it, nothing. The only symptoms again were diarrhea, which I'm happy that it happened. It probably because of this, and I'm happy that it just took a lot of the garbage out. And that, another symptoms is real mental clarity, like this morning. Beautiful skin, unbelievable. I don't believe it. Weight loss, which is what I didn't want to achieve, because I'm already skinny. But do go ahead, do your research. It will reboot your system. My headaches are completely gone. Nothing else fixed it. Nothing else did it. So this is unbelievable. I'm stoked. We'll see what happens when I break my fast, when I go back to normal. Will these headaches be there or not? I'm pretty sure they won't be there. Thanks everyone, thanks for watching. Good luck with your fast, good luck with your health. Tell me what you think, tell me your experience, and if you found that your fast worked for you, share this video with everyone, and tell people this is what I did and worked for me. It's inspiring, it's unbelievable. Alright, take care.